All right, call this meeting to order, beginning with the termination of the quorum. Mr. Clerk.
Mr. Chair, we do have all members present. We have a quorum.
All right, thank you. We'll do the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you all for being here this evening. We'll start by approving the agenda. You have that in front of you. I'll entertain a motion to approve the agenda as shown.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion on this item? All right, we have a motion and a second to approve the agenda. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you all. Item number 3, recognitions and awards. We have none this evening. And that brings us to community comment. This is a time for any members of the community to come forward and address the board with any comments or concerns that they have. There's a 3-minute limit per speaker and a 15-minute limit per topic. Are there any members of the community who would like to come forward at this time? All right, seeing none, we'll move right along with the agenda. Up next is the consent agenda. Consent agenda are items that are not debatable, but all items in the consent agenda can be removed upon request of any individual board member. Are there any items that any board members would like to have removed at this time?
Mr. Chair, I'd like to have removed so we can act on these individually under item C of the consent agenda. And we have a number of long-term teachers and employees who have decided to retire. I can't understand why they would want to do that. But I'd like to have removed so we can act on these individually. Bonnie Baker, John Billingham, Audrey Bjorkman, Lou Kavamaki, Sandy Kane, Cindy Orr, Janet Petrie, Tom Redlin, and Rick Ross. We
Okay.
could act on those individually as retirements.
Thank you, Mr. Robichaud. I'm going to have you remind us what those names are. I was going to start trying to write this down. You got ahead of me, so we'll have you remind us of what those are when the time comes. But those items are now removed from the agenda, from the consent agenda. Any other items to remove from the consent agenda? All right. Hearing none, I know we have an abstain that will happen on this vote. So I bet if you would just like to explain that a little bit.
I just have a relative applying or has earned a position in the school district, so I'm going to abstain.
All right, thank you very much. So, Mr. Clerk, if you would please do a roll call on the consent agenda.
Tom.
Aye.
Jason.
Aye.
Oh,
Do the motion?
Sorry, we got ahead
let's
of
go
ourselves.
back.
We have no motion to approve the consent agenda, so forget those. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion, a second, to approve the consent agenda with the items removed as described earlier. Mr. Clerk, would you please do a roll call?
Tom.
Aye.
Jason.
Aye.
Myself, aye. Jerry.
Aye.
Andrea.
Aye.
Chad.
Aye.
It passes 6-0, 1 abstained.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Clerk. And so now we'll attend to those items that were removed from the consent agenda. Mr. Robichaud, you asked to have those removed,
Sure.
so I'll turn it over to you.
Well, and first of all, I think the individuals who are retiring have chosen to retire. I don't know if you ever really do retire in today's society, but I'm not a math person, so I'll refer to the math expert, but there's 200 and some years of experience that we're seeing walk away from our school district. 200 and some years of commitment to students in the Faribault Public Schools. And to not take the time to acknowledge the retirement of these individuals individually, I think we would be doing them a disservice. So I would like to, I don't know if you want to take these in a total, Mr. Chair, or if we do them individually.
I'm okay either way, so
Okay.
I'll
Well,
leave a motion up to you if you
I would
want.
recommend that we do it individually so that we
Okay.
can acknowledge each individual. And I would move the acceptance of the retirement of Bonnie Becker, who has been in this district for 37 years. as an elementary teacher, and I believe she started somewhere else in the district as well. So we wish her the very best and thank her very much for the commitment to the students here in Faribault Schools.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Robichaud. We have a motion to approve the retirement of Bonnie Becker. Is there a second?
Second.
Any further discussion?
Yes, in fact, I was gonna pull out a couple names, but Jerry jumped ahead of me on that, but that's
Okay.
fine. Bonnie had both my sons in elementary school, great teacher. It's gonna be a tremendous loss, I think Jerry said that already, so, yeah, just a great teacher we're gonna lose. A lot of experience, a lot of experience.
Yes, thank you very much. Any other comments? We have a motion and a second to approve the retirement of Bonnie Becker. Any further comments?
I'd just like to say that in this modern world, it's seemingly more and more unusual for an individual to spend a long career in a single school district or with a single company and so on. And I don't think it's just the fact that I also am somewhat experienced, that I think that adds an hard to describe quality, but having that length of a commitment to a community, to a school system, brings a sense of stability and integrity, I think. And so to all the retirees, I'd like to extend my thanks for their extended service to this community.
Well said.
Any further comments? We have a motion and a second to approve the retirement of Bonnie Becker. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. I'm gonna leave it to you, Jerry, because you had the list and I didn't, so I'm gonna make sure that you cover them all.
Sure, and I hope I didn't miss anybody, but if I did, please let me know, okay? I would introduce a motion to accept the retirement of John Billingham, who has been with Faribault Schools for 38 years. Not only has John been a tremendous classroom teacher and dedicated, and I had the opportunity to work with John when I did a short term as a principal at one of the schools here, and came to recognize his commitment to kids and learning, and also outside of the classroom, a lot of coaching that he's done, so he's definitely going to be missed, and his leadership in the district will be missed.
My daughter had John Bellingham for her 6th grade social studies teacher, and he was beloved by her, and I know he will be missed from that building.
Second.
Yes, please.
When John was at McKinley, 6th grade teacher, one of my sons had him. So great teacher, got my son through 6th grade. So.
Up here.
All right, we have a motion to accept the retirement of John Bellingham. Is there a second?
Second.
A motion and a second to accept the retirement of John Bellingham. Any further comments or discussion?
Jason, I would just like to add that Mr. Bellingham is the assistant girls varsity basketball coach. And so hopefully he will stay on until your daughter and my daughter graduate. So I think he teaches them a lot of life lessons, just not classroom, just not court stuff, a lot of life lessons. So
We'll have a discussion. Any further comments? We have a motion and a second to accept the retirement of John Bellingham. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you very much.
The next individual is Audrey Bjorklund, who is a paraprofessional in the district and has been in the district for 28 years, and I had the opportunity to experience some of her interaction with students and what she's done for kids. And the commitment, it's a team effort, and Audrey is definitely a team member when it comes to working with students with special needs, and again, a long-term commitment to the kids in this district. So I would move that we accept Audrey's retirement
We have a motion to accept the retirement of Audrey Borkman. Is there a second?
Second.
Any further discussion on this item? Hearing none, all those in favor of accepting the retirement of Audrey Borkman, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you all.
The next individual is Luke Havamaki, who has been with the district for 36 years. Again, to have a chance to interact with Luke on a number of occasions when I was employed in the district, and like all the others, just a dynamic, caring, compassionate educator who has a real commitment for students, and is leaving Jefferson, where he currently is teaching. So I would move acceptance of Luke's retirement.
We have a motion to accept the retirement of Luke Havamaki. Is there a second?
Second.
A motion and a second. Any further discussion?
I would hope that Luke might consider remaining at least an honorary songwriter for the district.
And tie wearer. He's the
And tie
official
wearer.
tie.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. I'll take some of your ties, Luke, if you're watching. Only a few, though. Both of my daughters have Luke Havamaki for 5th grade, and there's no question his dedication to students is without peer. He loves his kids. He works very hard. He's innovative with them, and he, as with all the others, will be greatly missed in the district. Any further discussion? We have a motion and a second to accept the retirement of Luke Havamaki. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Next individual is Sandra Kane, who is retiring after 33 years in the district. Again, tremendous commitment to
37.
37, I apologize, 37, Sandy. I apologize if you're watching this, that I can't read my own writing, which is not a surprise to anybody. But again, Sandy, thank you very much for your commitment to the students. Sandy started out as a special ed teacher and moved over into the regular classroom. When I was the director of special ed, she was a special ed teacher, and decided she wanted to get into regular ed, and I think the students that she interacted with, not only for special ed, but also regular ed, we're very fortunate to have her as a teacher for the number of years that she's been in this district. So I would move approval of her retirement request.
We have a motion to approve the retirement of Sandra Kane. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the retirement of Sandra Kane. Are there any further comments?
In thinking about my earlier comments and thinking about these people that we're honoring tonight, I'm reminded of one further note that I'd like to recognize, and that is the heart of education, I believe, is relationships. And these people who are retiring represent a tremendous relationship between the teachers and the students, the adults and the children of this community. I know from personal experience their relationships with parents, and it is that quality of building and sustaining relationships over a long period of time that makes their retirement somewhat painful, but I did the same thing, and we reach a point where that's needed. But in any case, the relationships that these people have built over the years has been exemplary, and I'd like to, again, recognize that for all the retirees.
Thank you. So we have a motion and a second to approve the retirement of Sandra Kane. Are there any further comments? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Next individual is Cynthia Orr, who is an art teacher in the district. And regrettably, I've not had the chance to interact with Cindy to the level that I would like to. Although if she had taught handwriting, I probably should have interacted with her a lot. But again, 29 years in this district, 24.
22 is
It says 24 in this letter. That's 24.
All right.
20-some years, Cindy, a long time. So. Anyway, apologize for the, not reading again my writing, but recognizing her commitment to the students in this district and the involvement that she has with developing the fine arts for students in this district, so, and the visual arts. So I'll move approval of her retirement letter.
We have a motion to approve the retirement of Cindy Orr. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the retirement of Cindy Orr. Any further comments? I believe the retirement counts even if Mr. Roashaw gets the number of years wrong. So I think we're okay on that.
There is a discrepancy in the paperwork.
That could be our fault.
No, it's, I wrote this early this morning as well, so. The next person I would.
Wait, we haven't voted yet. It's okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the retirement of Cindy Orr. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Please continue,
All
Mr.
right, the next individual that I would like to recognize is Jenna Petrie, who's an occupational therapist. As Superintendent Sesker has said, hire good, and this is one of the persons that I had the fortune to hire when I was Director of Special Ed as an occupational therapist, and have over the years recognized and appreciated her commitment to students in handicap, and Cheryl is agreeing with that. So she's a dedicated person to students with special needs, and her commitment to those students is highly recognized. So I will move that we accept her retirement.
We have a motion to approve the retirement of Janet Petrie. Is there a second?
Second.
A motion and a second to approve the retirement of Janet Petrie. Is there any discussion on this item? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Did I get her years right, 32?
Yep.
32, yeah.
We're on a roll, Jerry. The next person is Tom Revlin, who is 29 years in the school district, working at the ALC. And as you know, working with students with at-risk students is a real commitment. And I do not know Tom, even though he's been here for 29 years. And regrettably, I wish I would have gotten to know him and his commitment to students. So I would move acceptance of his retirement and wish him well.
We have a motion to approve the retirement of Tom Revlin. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second.
Mr. Chair, I will add a comment on
Please.
Tom Revlin. I worked with him when I worked at the day treatment, when we had it at the Wilson Center, and he was very dedicated to a level 5 student population at the day treatment, those local heights. Very dedicated teacher. So I really support him in his retirement. I hope he enjoys it.
I too had the privilege of working with Mr. Revlin during my time at the ALC, and his compassion and understanding and commitment to students who sometimes are going through some tough times is exceptional, and he will be missed.
Thank you both. I believe we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? We have a motion and a second to approve the retirement of Tom Revlin. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
The last individual, and I appreciate the board's indulgence while we walk through these people who have dedicated their lives to our school district and our kids, is Rick Rost, who has been with the district for 34 years. A very dedicated physical education teacher, as well as a baseball coach for probably as many years in our school district. And Rick has touched lives not only in the classroom with many students, but also on the athletic field and the fine arts field. So we wish Rick the very best in his retirement as well. So I will move approval of his retirement.
We have a motion to approve the retirement of Rick Rost. Is there a second?
Second.
A motion and a second. Any further discussion?
I'd also like to recognize Mr. Rost. He and I worked together at the junior high for a number of years, and he and I also coached together in the football program for quite a while. And he was a excellent role model and tried to bring out the best in all of his students in every way. So we'll miss you, Rick.
Any further comments? All right, we have a motion and a second to approve the retirement of Rick Rost. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. And thank you, Mr. Robichaud, for separating those out and giving each of those individuals, that is not nearly enough thanks for the effort they put into our district for the many years, but it was appropriate to do so, and I thank you for doing so. And thank you for the many, many years that each of these educators have given to our kids. I know my own kids have been greatly impacted by a couple of these teachers, and I know they've affected many, many others. Okay, and that brings us to our next item, Curriculum Committee. There's a report from Colleen.
Good evening. On Monday, April 20th, we had our curriculum advisory meeting. There were two budget proposal presentations. One was a middle school proposal in which they were asking for additional staff for RTI, and the other one was an automotive proposal in which they were asking for additional funding over years to help with equipment and curriculum and just additional needs that they need for the automobile program to continue. After that discussion, or after those two proposals, we basically went over the whole entire list of all the proposals that are out there and that the board will need to be making a decision on soon. And then from there, we went into technology, and Maria's going to actually present this, or this comes into the agenda later. It's the iPad loan agreement. I'll let her share that information, the tech plan, and Schoology. And I'm going to leave that for Maria at a later time tonight. The last thing that we did discuss was the strategic plan that we are working on as a leadership team, as an administrative team, just beginning the process and just letting everyone know that we're going to share a draft of that so that the curriculum committee can look at it, make all the changes that they want, and just to have some good discussions about where we're headed and how to continue to increase student achievement. Tom or Jason or Chad, do you want to add anything? I think that was pretty much our meeting.
Good summary.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much. And that brings us to a technology update. Maria?
Good evening. I'd like to share with you our new tech initiative name. With the help of the tech committee, we came up with a FLIGHT plan. It stands for Falcon Learning by Integrating Technology Everywhere. So as we move forward with technology integration and iPads in our district, we'll be referring to the FLIGHT plan. But that's the bigger name. On June 11th, we'll be offering an additional Tech Day session. It's a one-day session. We'll be offering 8 two-hour classes for our staff. We're going to offer classes on different apps using the iPad, like iMovie, Notability, Book Creator. We'll also have a class on personal learning networks and social media tools. And we also have an iPad tips and tricks classroom management. I opened the session on Friday and we already had 40 staff members sign up. And we have teachers, administrators, and paras attending. So we had a good response so far. We continue to work on our infrastructure upgrades. We did a walkthrough last week with Marco, our vendor, and we began installation of our wireless access points on July 6th. And that's where we start putting access points in each classroom in all buildings. And then we continue to work on our iPad distribution plan. We've been working with an Apple program manager, and we're working on getting all the processes in place for distribution in August. Come August, we'll be distributing 2,100 iPads for students in grades 6 through 12. So it's a huge project that we continue to plan so it's successful.
Thank you, Maria. Any questions for Maria?
Maria, your tech boot camps, what percentage of teachers and paras and admin have signed up for them to attend those? Any idea?
Right now, it's just been offered to teachers because that's what the way we set it up is just for teachers. And we have, I believe, 8 classes, Chris, and 8 sessions a week that we have set up for teachers.
In how many teachers per session type of thing?
They range anywhere from 3 to 8 teachers per session.
So help, eight sessions we have? Is that what you said, 8 different sessions?
We're doing sessions June 8th, 9th, and 10th, and we have 2 instructors, and each instructor is going over 2 sessions a day, so 4 sessions a day. I have to correct myself, it's 4 sessions a day over 3 days,
So 12 sessions,
12 sessions.
so anywhere from 3 to 8 per session, is that right?
Yes.
So if I'm doing that right, anywhere from 36 to 96 teachers is,
And those ones are the ones that are more in-depth. We're meeting with them for 2 hours, the integrationists, and then for the last 2 hours, they work alone. And then we do another 4-hour session with those same teams in August. And so for those first 3 days, it's very specific that teams applied for those spots. And that's anywhere from 3 to 8 people per team for 4 hours in June and then another 4 hours in August. The 4th day is the one, it's the mini sessions, and that's where you said there was 40 signed up already, and that's only been open for 2 days.
so help me out. How many teachers do we have in this district?
We have about 250, is that a good guess, Nicole?
Is that ballpark?
350, sorry, thank you. 315,
315.
there we go. I
So-
didn't get it right sooner or later.
So my only concern, and back to, I'm all in favor of technology, all in favor of the flight plan. Great name. But I just go back to, is our staff, since we approved the calendar last board meeting, are they going to be trained well enough come day 1 of school, day 2 of school, when I'm hearing anywhere from 36 to 96 of our 315 teachers? The stories we were told about the iPad or the Chromebook or the technology one-to-one not being up to par as well as everybody wanted it in other districts was simply the training wasn't in place, that the staff was not trained properly. So I just go back to, on the high end, what I'm hearing right now is potentially about 1/3 of our teachers being trained properly.
This is the middle school and the high school, right, we're focusing on.
Oh, I'm
the
sorry, you're right,
implementation,
so maybe it's half.
So it's half.
Maybe it's half, I mean, a rounding type of thing. But my concern is, are they trained well enough? And what do we have to do to make sure they are? And we're not even talking about pairs right now, because pairs are in a lot of those classrooms. Also, I don't know how many pairs are at middle school, I don't know how many are at high school, maybe that's a non-issue. But I continue to go back to, if we're rolling it out, we need these people trained properly, and why is it fair for one set of students to have their teachers all trained, or the majority of their teachers trained, and the other set of students where maybe the majority of their teachers aren't trained type of thing? And I don't know if that's gonna happen or not, but I stress that.
Yeah, and I think that's not a bad point, and that's something that we can take back to the technology committee and talk about. Maybe there's an exam or a standard that we can give all the staff, and the staff has to meet that minimum competency to be certified to move ahead for the iPad initiative. Actually, that's not a bad idea.
And to talk with numbers a little bit, we're also, with Schoology, hopefully passing in the next, 15, 20 minutes here. We've already set up, we're gonna meet middle school math on Wednesday, May 20th, the entire department to talk about that. So Corey and I are also now getting into classrooms before the end of the school year. So those numbers for the summer are just people doing the extra work. We're gonna hit everybody, preferably everybody, before the end of the year as well, so they have the summer to work, so when we roll out, every teacher's ready to go. So there are other steps in place too. We're just kind of, not that we weren't sure Schoology was gonna be it, but we don't wanna put all the work up front. Now, when it passes, we're in the classrooms, we're ready to go, and teachers are on board.
Yeah, and I mean, I commend you guys, it's a lot of work and it's a big effort, but I think you know my concern where
Yep,
I'm coming
absolutely.
from and whatnot.
Any more questions from Maria on the technology update? All right, thank you very much. And that brings us to policy. Policy committee report. Is there a report from the policy committee?
Yeah, we met, was it last week, Kat? Or the week before, I don't remember. And we really looked through the discipline policy that our MSBA association is asking for us to have on hand. It's a long policy and it's got a lot of information that we need to make sure that we're paralleling what we're actually doing for our various discipline policies with all the grade levels. And as you know, our elementary discipline policy is different than our middle school is different than our high school. And so we tried to get something consistent. We didn't quite get it perfectly consistent. We were able to track it down according to each of the different levels. But we have a couple follow-up questions we have to ask regarding the policy, but I think we're getting pretty close to finishing it up and we should have something in place. So that was the main piece that we talked about. And then we also, what was the other one we did, Kathy? Reviewed the, was that the one that we got to that night? All right.
We went through the end of it.
Yeah, went through the whole, yeah, that's right. We finished it too. That was just the middle of it, then we finished the rest of the discipline policy all the way to the end. So that took pretty much the full hour we were there. So we're making progress, but we're not ready yet for that one. That should come next meeting.
Oh, it was not the first reading on this one, at this meeting.
For the discipline policy?
Mhm.
Okay. We might have to wait till next.
Is it ready for first reading?
I don't think it is. I think we have to do, I have to clarify those one questions.
Oh, all right,
Yeah,
okay.
so we'll have to wait till the June meeting for that.
Okay.
Okay.
Final approval will be July.
Okay,
So,
okay.
I did have a question about on page 46, waiting 10 times to notify the parent, but then below it looks like you notify the parent in every removal when
yes.
you comment. So I don't know if there's just a way to word that, I mean, I think the parent should be I mean, my opinion is the parent should be notified if there is a removal, but it almost reads like you don't notify them until 10 times or greater.
Okay, we'll look at that.
Yvette, did you say page 46?
40.
Because I only have 21 pages in that document.
It's 46 of the whole board book package, not,
Oh.
it's page 9
I'm
of
sorry.
that attachment.
Okay,
sorry.
no, thank you.
Yeah, and certainly if you have any other questions, go ahead and ask. I still
I
have
can
to
see now, I can do
get
that.
a hold of the MSBA attorney to talk about that one piece of it, that notification for suspension with special education students. So there's another piece that we don't have clarified.
Todd, question for you. Is incorporated in this policy, is there input from teachers and pairs? Do they help write this at all? Do they give input or no?
Yeah, do you have the list of the committee members?
It's on the bottom of that. Or on the top.
Yeah, oh, okay. So it's, you can read.
No. Andy Kratzer is our social worker from ALC, Terry Ronayne, Principal Roosevelt, Todd, myself, Andrea Vogelsberg, board member, Jerry Robichaux, board member, Bonnie Beckers, teacher, and Jamie Benty, high school assistant principal.
And Tim Boren comes over every once in a while too to review some of that.
When Andy
Yep,
is
when
not
he's not.
available.
Yep.
Yeah. So that's the committee. There's no parents on this one.
Well, it's her name. It's kind of.
Yeah,
Right, if you wanted, yeah. And
That's true.
Andrea.
that's true.
Aaron.
Andrea's too.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And on page 12, it's the chemical health pollution instead of cooperative, that's not a big deal.
Yes, want to get it right the first time.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for looking at that. Appreciate
Thank
it.
Any other questions on this policy?
Maybe just a comment, the process is, for Chad's benefit, is, the policy is introduced, whether it's a revision or not, it's laid over for a couple of board meetings, so the public and the staff have a chance to provide input and reactions to any modifications that are being made in it, so.
So the
even though-
staff will be showed this
Yep.
and
After the
encouraged
first
to
reading.
comment.
Yep.
Perfect, thank you.
Thanks
As
for
well
your
as the
work.
public.
Big public.
Yeah.
All right, any further comments on this? So this will not come back to us. The process, for those who are watching or are not familiar with the process, is that policies come to the board first for a first reading, at which time they cannot be enacted, approved by the board. They need to be looked at and discussed by the board. And then if the board approves, they can come back at the next meeting for a second reading, at which time they can be approved. So my understanding is this policy, if I'm hearing Superintendent Susker right, will actually come back to us again in a first reading, so it will not come back to us in a second reading for us to approve. It'll come back for us to look at again and have another discussion, because there's a question that you have
Right.
someplace in there you wanna have our attorneys look at.
Yep, we wanna kind of time it so that we have that policy done by the time the handbooks go out.
Absolutely.
So July should help us, that should be okay.
All right. All right,
So if we remove number one, what's the clerk say about?
Table it, but when there's not a vote, you're taking on it.
I don't think we need to table it, there's no action required, so we just
Oh,
know
there's
that
no
it'll come
action.
back for a first
Yeah.
reading, so
Right.
without action, I think it's just a report, so we can move along.
Okay.
All right, any further questions on that policy? It will come back to us at least 2 more times. All right, and so this brings us to policy 706, which is in front of us this evening. So for a second reading, it was with us last month for a first reading. It is a policy on acceptance of gifts.
And this is pretty boilerplate from MSBA, so it follows our legal system.
And this is a new policy, it is not replacing anything.
Correct. Yeah, it's
Although-
based on the new law that was passed last July 1st,
Okay.
2014.
Although the board has always approved gifts to the district, so,
The new process is it has to be by resolution
so it's changed a little bit in how we have to do that.
procedure.
So we can individually vote.
Excellent, because those are usually, I'm sorry, I make a sarcastic comment.
I'll make a motion to
We'll move on.
approve the.
Do we have a motion to approve policy 706, acceptance of gifts?
So moved.
Is there a second? We have a motion and a second to approve policy 706, the acceptance of gifts. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you all. And that brings us to item 8, finance. Starting with item 8A, a finance committee report. Do we have a report from the finance committee?
Well, we have several contracts that we're gonna come up for review, but I'd also just add, we had many good presentations at the finance committee that, the staff have worked so hard to present to all of us, their projects and plans, and I just would say thank you to the automotive program, the band program, the middle school proposal, the robotics proposal, our clay target proposal, Unity, which is the new club that's come from your committee, Jason, we talked about that as well. The newcomer program we'll talk about later, some special education increases, the nursing proposal. So we have a lot of great proposals and projects to look ahead, to look at as we go forward, so it's pretty exciting.
All right, thank you very much. Any questions of our esteemed treasurer on the
Are
committee?
there committee
Um,
members? Sure,
on the committee
anything?
What was the longest meeting in finance we've ever had?
I heard it was a marathon meeting, and so your efforts are appreciated from those of us who are not on the finance committee. All right, hearing no further questions, we will move along to the items recommended to the board for approval. Starting with the Sodexo amendment.
Hello.
Looks like Andy is gonna tell us about that.
Yes, this is an amendment. We're now offering after-school meals at the middle school. So some of those meals that they get, some of those kids eat really early. So this is an opportunity for them to actually get a meal after school when they stay for after-school programming. Right now, there's about 100 kids that are staying and getting that meal. So it's a cool program. It's a federal program, so we get revenue in for it, so there isn't a cost to the district. And this is just the agreement that allows us to reimburse Sodexo for their costs.
Any questions on this, this amendment to the Sodexo agreement? All right, hearing none, I will entertain a motion to approve the Sodexo amendment for the after-school meal program.
So move.
Is there a second?
Second.
A motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you all. And that brings us to the Nerstrand lease, which is up for renewal. And Andy, do you want to say anything about that?
This is a lease that we renew every 3 years. So it's time for renewal. There's a flat rate that MDE allows, and we just go off of that recommendation by MDE. The charter school actually gets revenue for this, and then we charge them the rent. This is for the rent of the building. It's $211,700 per year for next school year, and then in the spring of next year, we'll negotiate what the new rate will be. So this is a 3-year lease. Yeah, nothing really has changed from the past.
I think the emails, Richard, will go
Yeah,
ahead and
could
talk
you,
on that.
I talked to you this afternoon, could you explain that to the board?
Sure.
What we talked about?
Yep. So I put together I think it was a 6-year history of the expenses and revenues associated with Nearstrand, and then what we're budgeting for this year and next year. There are costs associated with it. Obviously, we do operate the building still, so Nearstrand contracts for custodial services. So we have a custodian over there. They reimburse us for that cost. There's some nursing services that we provide to them, so they reimburse us for that, and then technology services. So we bring in around that it's about $250,000, I think, off the top of my head, that we end up charging them for these miscellaneous services plus the lease, and then there's costs associated with it. Next year, I believe it's about, this year and next year, I believe it's about $190,000 that we end up earning revenue that comes in over expenses. I can't remember off the top of my head what those other numbers were.
191.
Yeah, so somewhere around there, yeah. There are some bigger expenses too, some capital-related expenses that we've had in the past, when we need to replace the boiler or the roof or anything like that too.
So Richard, the question was, do we benefit from this? This is a good relationship, and it appears
Yes,
it
it's,
is. Yeah.
we're actually
Yeah.
making money,
Yeah,
because we're
it is very-
renting something,
That's-
and we're making money on it. Then I asked Andy where that money's going. It's going into the general fund.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Any other questions for Andy on this agreement? Hearing none, I will entertain a motion to approve the Nerstrand lease.
So moved.
Is there a
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the Nerstrand lease. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. And this brings us to item 8B3, the Avid agreement and exhibitions.
So you'll see a lot of different attachments here. The first attachment is for the actual Avid contract. So Avid is it's a program that you guys are all familiar with. It's at the high school and the middle school right now, and we're actually going to be expanding into the elementaries, just into Lincoln Elementary. So this is just the standard contract that we pay for each year. They make us split it into lots of different exhibitions. I can go into each exhibit if you want me to. Can I get a feeling from the board?
I think the finance committee was comfortable with proceeding with the contract.
Yeah.
Unless other board members have specific questions, I think the finance committee supported.
It's funded by the integration, achievement and integration revenue that we get from the state.
Does anybody want Andy to go into more detail? Okay, I don't think so. I'll entertain a motion to approve the Avid agreement and exhibitions.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
A motion and a second to approve the Avid agreement and exhibitions. Any further questions for Andy? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. That brings us to the Hildy agreement.
Hildy is our actuary. Each year we have to go through an actuarial study for our GASB 45 and GASB 16 evaluation. So GASB 45 is for our other post-employment benefits. So they value what is the cost of the district for those employees who retire with us, so for their health insurance costs going forward. GASB 16, they evaluate what is the value of our compensated absences, so our accrued sick leave and vacation at the end of the year. And then we book entries at the end of each year with our audit associated with these. So there's a cost associated with it. It's $6,500 for GASB 45 and $2,500 to $3,000 for GASB 16. We've been with Hildy for several years now, and they're a reputable firm.
Any questions of Andy on the Hildy agreement? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve the Hildy agreement.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
A motion and a second to approve the Hildy agreement. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. And that brings us to the fee pay agreement.
So FeePay is an online service that we're going to be going with. We currently use them for our community ad registrations, so we're now going to be adding our fees for the iPad insurance, athletics or activities, and then food service is going to be going online too. So it's going to be kind of a one-stop shop for parents for all fees basically that will be charged to the district.
Any questions for Andy on the fee pay agreement?
I think there was some discussion on if who's paying that fee for the use transaction.
Mhm.
So it's, maybe you guys can fill in exactly what,
I can attend.
Yeah.
My understanding is the district will be paying that except for the activity fees, which I believe Ken was going to look at increasing them slightly to cover the cost.
Yep,
of
so-
the pay transaction. And
Yep.
the idea is that you do recoup more income, I guess, than other programs or school districts that use this program, that you recoup so much more income, that you pay that fee to recoup that additional income, basically.
Okay, by making it easier to pay the fees, that
Right.
tends to account for the transaction fees we pay in those cases.
Andy, do you have any idea, any guesstimate how much next year might run through fee pay? Any idea?
No. I mean, I would guess that it's going to be pretty significant. A few years ago, we switched for our food service. We had been charging that fee to the parents, and then we decided that as a district, we would just take that fee on and not charge that to the parents. And there was a very significant increase. I think it was like a 400% increase in participation. So I think it'll be very significant, but I don't have a number.
So, I guess my only comment about it is why would just athletics get their fee marked up, and why wouldn't we mark the fee up across the board?
Well,
You know, everything by 3.95% type of thing.
community ed already does build that into
Okay.
their fee structure. So, essentially they've already done that. When we look at food service, the way that the budget's working right now in food service, there's no need to increase that. I guess it's a discussion we could have as far as if we do when we do the iPad insurance through fee pay, that could be a discussion that we maybe increase the insurance rate. That's not a discussion we've had now. And I think those are the main things that we're looking at right now. So in the future, if we end up with lost book fees going through there, it's something that we could look at, but.
So when you say there's not a need in the food service area, the fee pay fees, the 3.95 transaction fee, for food service area, will that come out of the food service fund, or does
Yes.
that come out of the general fund?
It'll come out of the food service fund. Yep. And that's what it's been doing now for the last several years through PayPams.
And what other type of service or activities or whatever might run through fee pay?
Just whatever you want to pay for something in school.
Yeah, right now,
Basically, that's
what I've mentioned is all that is in the works, but we could, going forward, the prom fees could go through that. Sky's the limit once we train everybody, so.
No, that's my only concern is we're marking up athletic fees and no other fees to pay for it, and eventually that money probably ends up coming out of the general fund. And 3.95% might add up to be $1,000, it might add up to be $5,000 someday, I have no idea. But to me, if you're gonna charge it, I would charge it across the board. If you're not gonna charge it, we all know where it's coming from.
I think the other two to keep in mind is that the parents can still pay with a check. They don't have to use the fee service, so they don't get that charge is not part of that whole piece, although how it washes out, who knows?
So are you no longer gonna have PayPams, cause that's what elementary uses anyways? Like
Yep.
I do for,
Yep,
so you
yep,
won't
so,
have that anymore?
right, eventually, once we get this fully implemented, then we'll be going through this instead of PayPams, yes.
And will all
Yep.
that money that's in those accounts just
Oh, absolutely.
transfer over,
Yep,
so it's
yep.
So it's
Pay
for the
Pams is
parents.
just really the middleman, so
Gotcha.
they just help us get the money
So there won't
to
be
our
any-
food service software. No,
Perfect.
no, you won't lose any money.
Well, I was just thinking like parents having to, I don't know, do something to transfer it over.
Yeah, yep, and we'll let everybody know, this is just, we're just getting this off the ground now,
Right.
so.
Perfect.
Mhm.
So just to clarify, so we would have it for activity fees, which will add the fee. We
Mhm.
have it for community ed, which will add the fee. So the loan coverage on the iPad, we have not decided at this time, but we would approve this going forward, assuming that the school district would be covering that.
Just
The
back
food
up to,
service would be the food service budget,
Right.
would
Mhm.
cover that.
you haven't approved the activity fee increase yet either, so that's not
Right.
part of it. So
We're
all
just
these are,
approving
Yep.
using the system.
how we offset it hasn't been approved yet.
Okay.
Mr. Chair.
Yes, please.
Along with those two ideas, we could monitor it for the first year, you know, with the amount of fees that we're absorbing.
Right.
And just maybe a year from now, report back to the board of if it's 1,000, 10,000 in fees, so.
Well, and food service fees and activity fees come to the board every single year. And so there will definitely be a process in the future. If the activities fees were to increase, that has to come before the board, so that can't happen without another discussion. And we approve the new fees for food service every single year. So we'll be looking at that again as well, so.
Yep.
We can definitely look at those in the future if we'd like to. Any further questions on fee pay? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve, which I don't think I've done, is that true?
So moved.
All right, we have a motion, is there a second?
Second.
A motion and a second to approve the fee pay agreement. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. And that brings us to Schoology. Maria's gonna come forward and tell us about the Schoology agreement.
Schoology is an online learning management system that will provide online course delivery and workflow for students as we move forward with the one-to-one initiative and the iPads. It allows students to upload their assignments to teachers and teachers to give immediate feedback on those assignments. It does a wealth of different things. It can be used as a planner, it can be used, it works with other third-party apps like Google Apps. And this version here is for the enterprise edition, which integrates with our student management system, so we can pre-populate the system with our student courses and student schedules and all that. Seamlessly.
All right. Any questions for Maria about the Schoology agreement?
I was reading in the agreement where they're talking about access to significant instructional resources. Am I understanding that correctly? I'm trying to find the, I'm on page, there's some, okay. It's on page 96 in our packet, page 90, yeah, also 96 in the Schoology packet, I think. It says using, oh, now I've lost it again.
Well, one of the things it does is it
Bifocal.
allows us to upload textbooks information into the system. So we can upload textbooks, videos, PDFs, all sorts of multimedia, things like that too.
Are you thinking about
Oh, here we
training
go.
on Schoology, the system, being available? Is that? what you're
No,
asking?
well, I guess what excites me about this is the comment here that using Schoology's engaging tools, educators can create custom courses, pace students individually, and differentiate instruction. Schoology also facilitates improvement by providing educators access to globally shared resources. So the notion that attracts me to technology, one of the major attractions for our technology integration is the reduction in a reliance on a printed textbook, which tend to go out of date relatively quickly in a lot of subject areas that are very expensive to replace. And I'm hoping that our technology rollout will result in teacher-generated support materials or access to them through our system that might ultimately replace the printed textbook. I don't know how fast that might happen. I guess I'm not current on Schoology. I've looked at other systems in the past, but it is my hope that that's something that we're aiming at. It's certainly down the road, but something we're aiming at.
Chair, just the 33,000 is in the 15-16 budget.
That would come out of this year's budget. I can implement this yet.
It's 33,000, but the contract is for July 1, 15 to June 30th, 16.
Right, but the company will allow us to start the process sooner than July 1st and have training for our staff. And I do have the funds in this year's budget to cover the cost of it. But the contract would go till June 30th of next year.
So how much would come out of this year's budget? Out of that 33,000, the whole thing?
The whole thing, the 4,400 is just a one-time setup fee. And then it would be 29,70 every year after that.
So we're gonna pay for this contract before it starts, is that?
We're gonna pay for it now so that we can implement it soon and get prepared before school starts. They'll allow us to start the integration process and also have some training for our staff, prior to rollout.
Okay. And this has been budgeted for in this year?
We do
This
have that
fiscal
for
year.
this year, yes.
Any other questions for Maria? If my memory is correct, we have not yet had a motion or a second. I'll entertain a motion to approve the Schoology agreement.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the Schoology agreement. Any further discussion or questions for Maria? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. That brings us to insurance bids.
Good evening. What you have in front of you is our list of insurance bids that we received back from March 11th, when the district went out for bid for our health insurance. Now you'll see we received back 6 bids. 4 of them were for self-insurance options, and the rest of them are for fully insured options. So along that top line would represent our current rates, and then the 5 lines below there show the other 5 of the other options that we received back as far as bids. So the school district is recommending moving forward with the Minnesota Service Co-op bid, which is the current plan that we have right now. It's through Blue Cross Blue Shield, insurance company. They did return a bid to us with a 0% increase.
Which I would say is very good news. Just add.
Is this the Rochester service?
Other one.
Mankato?
Yep.
I'll entertain a motion to approve the Minnesota Service Cooperative Blue Cross Blue Shield proposal, health insurance proposal.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
A motion and a second. Any further discussion? Questions for Nicole? There was some discussion about self-insurance. Does anybody want to say, it sounds like we're not going that route, at least for now. Is anybody who's involved in that process want to say anything about that at this time? Is there or
Are we
not?
still gonna look into it?
Yeah, we're still looking into it.
We received bids for it and we would continue to, and I think Chad brought up a good point of the finance committee, maybe in the future looking consulting with someone who's had experience doing it in the future, but it currently doesn't make financial sense.
Okay.
Right, our insurance rep has worked with a few districts that are fully self-insured, and he's also helped a few districts transition to the self-insurance plan or option. So he is familiar with it and how it all works. When we analyzed our utilization rates from this past 18-month period, it looked to us as though it would not be beneficial for the district to move in that direction at this time. But it is something that the insurance committee does review at least annually.
Okay.
Thank you.
So we have a motion and a second to approve the Minnesota Services Cooperative Blue Cross Blue Shield bid for health insurance for the Faribault Public Schools. Any further questions?
I just have one question, Nicole, I'm sorry. How long have we been in this pool with the service co-op? I apologize, I should have asked you.
Sorry.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear your question.
How long have we been in the pool with the service co-op for insurance?
You know, at least 10 years.
Okay, all right.
I'm not sure how much longer than 10 years, though.
Okay, that's fine. So it's been long enough, so we have a very positive history with them.
Yes, yep, absolutely.
Okay.
Many times they'll help us, because the way the co-op works is they pull all of our money together and all of our utilization together from many of the districts that are participating in it. So many years it's helped our rates stay lower than what they should have been.
Thank you, Nicole.
You're welcome.
Any questions for Nicole before she sits down? All right, hearing none, we have a motion and a second to approve the Minnesota Service Cooperative Blue Cross Blue Shield bid for health insurance for the school district. Any further questions or comments? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. This brings us to item 8B8, purchases of services from Northfield for autism and behavioral consultant.
Good evening. This is a renewal of a purchase agreement that we have had in place with Northfield for the autism consultant. And we've also added the title of behavior consultant on that as well, as she does have a certification in behavioral consultation. And we've been able to spread her skills and talents in consulting with our staff, no matter what the disability of the student is. She has worked for many years with our low incidence population as well as our autism population very effectively. So that is the agreement there for renewal.
Any questions for Cheryl? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to approve the purchase of service agreement with Northfield for autism and behavioral consultant.
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
A motion and a second to approve the purchase of services agreement with Northfield for an autism and behavioral consultant. Any further questions for Cheryl? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. This brings us to item 8B9, fiscal year 16, special ed FTE increases. Cheryl, do you want to say something about these increases?
Yes. Every year, we look at our caseloads and our workload analysis to determine if there's any changes in staff required. Some of those staff changes are required based on caseload limits set in Minnesota rule. And in this case, we do have one of those, the DCD, which is our developmental cognitive disabilities, severe profound students. There's a caseload limit there of 6 students per teacher with paraprofessional support. That group at the middle school has grown, and will be up to 11 students in that group. We have 2 elementary programs that are feeding into our middle school, and so those numbers have been growing over the years. That will require 2 teachers, 2 FTE, so it's an increase of 1 FTE for next year at our Faribault Middle School for our low incidence population. The others are the Lincoln Elementary, the Specific Learning Disabilities Resource Room. We have an increased number of students that have been identified as needing resource room specialized instruction for students that are meet specific learning disability, other health disabilities, other mild disabilities as well. And that is an increase of a 1.0 in order to meet the service needs of students on those caseloads. The third one is our speech language pathologist. We would like to add a speech language pathologist. Over the last 2 years, we have had speech language assistants that we have been trying or using. We had a 1.5 FTE for speech language assistants. While that has worked fairly well for us, we have found that it's been difficult to find part-time speech language assistants. That 0.5 is very difficult to find. And we've had some changes in our staff over the year. The individuals that we get for speech language assistants are usually looking to go into getting their into their graduate programs for speech language pathology. So they stay with us for a short time and then move on. There's also the piece of supervision of those from our speech language pathologists is also somewhat taxing our speech language pathologists to do that supervision. So we are requesting instead to replace that position with a 1.0 speech language pathologist for the upcoming school year, due to the large caseloads at our elementary and early childhood center.
These staff will take place next year, right?
Yes.
If I'm understanding what I'm
Yes.
looking at.
Right.
Are there any questions for Cheryl before I entertain a motion to approve? All right, I will entertain a motion to approve the special aid education FTE increases as described in the handout.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
A motion and a second to approve the special education FTE increases as described in our board packet. Any further discussion? Questions for Cheryl? She sat down, but we can't ask her to come back up.
And our new director, we don't want to tough on her tonight.
All right, hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. And this brings us to our technology plan called Flight. Maria.
Every 3 years, we are required by MD to have a technology plan on file, and this plan was developed with our technology committee. And there's 4 components to the plan. There's a tech assessment, goals and strategies, professional development, and evaluation. And all those items are outlined in the plan. The goals and strategies will be aligning to our district strategic plan with action items. We did expand our professional development area and added additional tech support and tech integrationists, as well as added additional staff development days, workshop days, and online resources this year.
All right, thank you, Maria. Are there any questions for Maria before I entertain a motion to approve?
Maria, quick question for you. Do you have any guesstimated number, and Andy might have to help you here, how much the district in total spending to get the flight plan up and running, whether it be through one-time expenditures? It's about $500,000 for iPads, but then a couple board meetings ago, we approved kind of the new wiring, or all the new access points, and all that type of thing, Schoology, whatever it's called. Any rough number?
We can probably get that number for you at the next finance meeting or the work session. It's gonna take a little while to get
Yeah,
that. I
that's
think
fine.
we'd rather get you the exact number.
And when you do that, would you include in there, break out recurring and kind of one-time
Ongoing and
stuff?
that. Yep,
Yeah, it'd be nice to know that.
you bet.
Thank you.
Maria, I would ask if the flight plan could come before the curriculum committee to get an update. The curriculum committee has been, I don't know if Colleen, if you think that's appropriate in the next, doesn't have to be at the next meeting, but at some point it'd be nice to see
The technology plan?
the technology plan. Did it already come before the curriculum
It
committee?
was already.
It came to the one that I missed, didn't it? Thanks. Great. Wow. Next time ask questions ahead of time, Casey. All right.
Well, it was obviously a good point.
It's a good idea to do that. Let me commend you on bringing this plan in front of the curriculum committee. Teach me not to miss meetings. All right. Any further questions for Maria? All right, hearing none, I will entertain a motion to approve the technology plan.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
A motion and a second to approve the technology plan as presented. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. And this brings us then to the iPad loan agreement.
This is a loan agreement that we would be presenting to our families at the time of distribution. We would require all students and parents to sign the loan agreement. And it's a very detailed agreement going through the care and uses at school and acceptable uses. So if you had any specific questions on the contract, I'd be happy to answer them.
Now, do they have to buy the insurance?
Insurance is optional.
But if they don't, what happens?
If they don't, we're requiring the families to be responsible for the repair of the iPad if there's any accidental damage.
I think we also, with the finance committee, we would have insurance for the equipment
No.
as part of overall.
No.
No?
Uh-uh.
Part of overall. We talked about looking into that. Am I wrong about that?
No.
I think we essentially kind of self-insure through
Yeah.
these insurance premiums. It
Yeah.
was my understanding, right? This money gets pooled together, and if there's an issue to have it fixed, it comes out of the premium.
It comes
money.
out of this pool of money for those families that have contributed to the insurance plan.
So if somebody doesn't buy insurance and they need to be, like something happens to it, how are we gonna recoup the money if they say, well, we're not paying it?
It'd be similar to how we do textbooks. So for example, if you have a biology textbook that costs $120, we would try to pursue if it's damaged, got thrown in the river, or somebody's mad at the
Right.
biology teacher and they burned the book, who knows? We do it the same way. We try to recoup the costs from parents as much as we can. It is illegal to hold grades or graduation or anything like that for that whole piece of equipment. But we try to recoup the cost the best we could, if they chose not to do the insurance piece. That'd be our first route. But otherwise, just because there is an equality clause within the law of education that every kid deserves an equal opportunity, we would have to somehow provide that instruction for them.
Okay, so
Now, we
what
can change it. We can have them bring it, leave it at school, and they don't bring it home anymore.
So if something
Things like that.
happens and we don't recoup anything, are they given another iPad?
Not to take home. We would keep it in the classroom as we understand it, and then they wouldn't be able to bring it home. Or whatever the discipline is.
I think because
Depends
of
on what it is.
equality, we have to replace the iPad, and they need to have access to the iPad, but we can keep them from taking it home after that.
Yeah, we can do whatever, we can control it within the school, but they all have to have equal access to the iPad or the textbook or whatever it is, or whatever educational tool this district chooses to use.
Now, could the parent complain of saying, you know, I wanna take that home again? I mean, they'll come and talk to you. They say, what is it, they're $400 a piece?
$479.
$479, and they broke it, they use it as a boomerang. Then they come back and say, I want another one, but I wanna take it home because I have to do my homework. Then what do we, the parent's gonna come with their student to your office, what do you do?
Well, hopefully, the school board will support me when our decision is, no, you can't.
Okay.
That would be the piece. We don't know exactly, it depends on the situation that we're in. I mean, it could be totally accidental, somebody could have stole it without them knowing about it. There's a lot of different scenarios that occur that again, it's the iPads that we're looking at, it's a new device, it's an electronic device, but we've done the exact same thing since I've been in education for every single material that we have in education. It's no different than a textbook or anything else.
And just, we definitely can do a paper and pencil
Yeah.
alternative.
Yep,
So
we can always
do
give the
have
alternative.
ability to,
Yeah, thanks.
they don't necessarily have to take it home. We can use paper and pencil and send the work home that way.
I thought there was some discussion about us taking a separate level of insurance out for the devices for cases where parents weren't paying and we weren't recouping the cost. So if we saw that happen a lot, that we could also look at doing something like that.
Wait,
Like
there
early
was,
runs.
there's companies out there that sell insurance. We decided to be self-insured. Yeah, there are companies out there.
But if it would become, I mean, if we're seeing this become a big problem, we could have that option where the school district's actually insuring the devices. Is that?
Yeah,
No.
there's a lot of options out there right now, and I think when we suggested the technology committee and when we've looked at it, this was the best option available
start
right now to
with.
start
Yeah,
with
right.
this whole piece. We'll have to reevaluate it, but remember, we have that law that we have to deal with too. We can't break the law, and we have to somehow do this, because you're gonna get parents that just can't pay. And we just have to realize that, same thing with athletics, it's everywhere that we have.
Now, my understanding, these iPads are useless
Yeah. Good point.
to general public, right?
You wanna explain the lock system?
You know, it just, to sell it to somebody.
Yeah, we have control over the iPads and then we can make them totally unusable so that they become pretty much just a brick. They can't use it, they can't sign in or anything. And because they're designated through Apple that they belong to Faribault Public Schools, we can put a notice on there that says, if found, please return to Faribault Public Schools. So they are branded for Faribault Public Schools and we can make them unusable.
Mr. Chair.
Yes,
I
please.
have a logistics question. Every parent or guardian is going to get this loan agreement and they have to sign it? Is that right?
Every student and parent, yes.
Every student or parent?
Both. We have a place for a student to sign and for the parent to sign.
And where will they get this loan agreement from?
During orientation, when we hand out the iPads, we're gonna have a presentation for parents and students. And we'll be explaining the loan agreement and handing it out then. We're hoping to have it ahead of time online on our website also, so parents can review it ahead of time.
And obviously it'll be in different languages.
Yes, it will be.
So then if I'm a parent and I have questions about this loan agreement, who am I gonna go to? Some of the questions that were asked here, who do I go to get the answers?
We have actually, the parents are gonna come through and we're gonna do a presentation with them, and so then we will have people during that day when we're distributing the iPads, where the questions can be answered. If they need to contact us prior to that time, obviously, we'll have it on our website with a number for
Okay,
them
and
to.
who's gonna be that contact person? Is it gonna be the principal, Maria, you, Colleen? So, initially, that's great, but if something happens during the term and I have questions about this, I wanna know who I'm gonna go to, and maybe I missed it on the loan agreement. I don't see any contact information on here.
Some of that would be in the letter going home to parents. We'll be sending home a letter notifying them of this whole process, where they can go online and get information, and I was putting my name on there for a contact.
Okay, and it might be
initially.
beneficial, if they're gonna have to sign this loan agreement, to have that in there as well.
Okay.
Actually, a good idea.
And then
So because, they're through Faribault Public Schools, they still have the filter on them?
Yes, when they're on our district site, they will still go
But-
through our web filter, but not at home.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
not at home.
So, help me out, there's no filter at home?
When the iPad goes off a site of our district, then it goes on any Wi-Fi that it picks up either at home or in a public area, and then it's the parent's responsibility or the student's responsibility to monitor usage. Now, we will have some like NC-17 ratings on the iPad itself, so there will be certain blocks on there, but for web filtering, it bypasses our filter once it goes off the school grounds. So it's that parent education piece that we want to have the parents to them.
But, and I get that in theory, but, so it's at home, it's a school district piece of property, they download something pornographic, gambling, whatever, are you telling me they can't even though the filter's off?
They can't do that on the actual iPad because of the restrictions that we put on the physical iPad itself. They cannot download anything like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering about Facebook.
Well, we'll probably hope to have the Facebook and the Twitter accounts open.
Well, like, cause I can't get my email at school,
Yeah.
I'm not through the trust wave, so
Right.
I'm at home, but I'm not gonna be here.
Any more questions for Maria and Colleen?
There's one bullet point here about using iPad to take photos or videos of a person or persons without prior consent. I remember 15 years ago when smartphones were beginning to come out with camera capabilities and so on. The bullet point ends with devices of any kind are not allowed in bathrooms or locker rooms for obvious reasons. What are the devices going to be? Where will they be? How will they be handled? How would a parent interpret that in terms of, okay, where do we put it when we need to use the restroom? Where do we, that sort of thing.
Those are the things we need to still address with the building principals. They can keep it in their student lockers or, those are things we need to address yet with the principals.
Can you lock out that feature so they're not taking photographs or videos? Can you lock that out?
We can, but I think it limits the use of the iPad. You wanna allow them to use it for instruction and use all the capabilities of the iPad. Once you restrict it, then you're limiting the device on what it can do for students.
We would prefer to educate our students the right and wrongs of using technology, because regardless of whether we do it at Fairville Public Schools, it's going to be out there and they're going to have technology in the future. So our goal is to educate them as, how should technology tools be used, what's proper and what's improper.
And I would say that's not a new risk in our schools right now, the cameras on the iPads. 90% of our students have got cameras on their phones, so the iPad will just be another way, so it's not a new thing.
Now, the students are not allowed to bring in their own laptops, right? See, I got a new one, my parents just bought me one.
No, they're allowed to bring their own devices. It just goes on our filtered network,
Oh.
our guest network.
So do they get an iPad then?
Yeah.
They'll have two devices?
They can. It does put a little bit more strain on our network with bandwidth, but there's nothing preventing a student from having a cell phone and an iPad at the same time.
So if they don't want the liability of the iPad with the district, they can bring their own device.
We don't recommend that. I mean, the one from the district will have all the district apps and the district filtering and all the setups for students as
So
well.
you would not load that into mine type of thing if I was a parent?
No.
No, okay.
No.
All right. Any further questions from Maria or Colleen? All right, hearing none, I will entertain a motion to approve the iPad loan agreement.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the iPad loan agreement. Any further discussion before Maria sits down? She's on her way.
That's it.
All right, hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you all. And that brings us to the newcomer program for fiscal year 15-16. We had an extended discussion of this at our previous work session. And much of that discussion was simply about whether or not to bring this program forward to this evening, or to wait for it to be a part of a larger discussion of potential additions for the district. And we decided to put it on this evening's agenda. I don't know, Sam, if you've prepared to come up and present about this item at this moment, and then we'll open it up to discussion.
Good evening, Chairman Ingrid, Superintendent Sesker, and the members of the board.
The newcomer program is designed to meet the needs of the newest immigrant and refugee students to our district, the newcomer students. Now it's being replaced with the acronym SLIFE, which stands for Students with Limited or Interrupted Formal Education. It also helps us improve our EL program by allowing us to provide better services to target the needs of the EL students at different levels. And furthermore, with the needs of the newcomers being met at the Newcomer Center, it will allow the teachers in the classroom to better differentiate for all their kids there in the classroom. So if we're looking at just the newcomer population alone, it'll be about 80 kids, 80 to 90 kids in our district here. All the EL students with the improved service of EL education, that's over 800 students here in our district, and all the kids will all benefit from it here with the incorporation of the Newcomer Center. So all 3,000 students, over 3,000 students, will benefit from the placement of the Newcomer program.
Thank you, Sam. Any questions for Sam on this item?
Sam, what's the new name of it?
SLIFE, SLIFE, Students with Limited or Interrupted Formal Education.
Thank you.
And this is the Minnesota Department of Ed
Yes.
acronym that has changed.
We have to use it. Newcomers, I thought that was kind of neat.
We don't have to use it, we use newcomer.
Thank you. Okay.
I think it should be S-Life, not Slife. Slife doesn't have a good ring to it.
No.
I
S-Life
agree.
is okay.
I agree.
S-Life.
Sam, the original proposal had 4 paraprofessionals. I brought this up in finance. Can you do this job with 3?
Yes. It will involve the incorporation of our cultural liaisons into the classroom, and us going out and look for either parent or community volunteers that can come in to help out inside the classroom.
So your original was 4, but all of a sudden you're making cuts before even the program started.
Our ultimate goal as an EL department is to make sure that the whole district succeeds. And we feel that it is the better way to go for us to take the reduction to help other programs happen here in our district.
Do we know which elementary school it's going to,
Not yet.
should this pass?
Not
We
yet,
don't know.
no, haven't decided that.
In when, what's a time frame? Assuming this gets approved, what's a time frame that we'll know logistically where that goes?
We have had discussions on it. There are advantages and disadvantages at all sites. At Jefferson, because the community is nearby, there's a lot of community relations that can be developed with the Newcomer Center there. However, there are already high needs at Jefferson, and also the space issue is there as well, so we'll have to work around that. Lincoln will also be a good place because the advantage there at Lincoln is that it'll balance out the EL population, since the EL population is smallest there at Lincoln. The drawback with Lincoln is that it's further away from the neighborhoods of our newcomer families. So that's, we'll have to work around that. With Roosevelt, it'll increase our diversity there because right now we have predominantly white and Hispanic. This will add a pretty good amount of Somali students into the Roosevelt area as well. It'll increase diversity there. However, with Roosevelt, the drawback is there are not a lot of walls around their classrooms there, and with newcomers, they'll need that oral participation and that oral practice. So those are all things in discussion here, and we'll come to a conclusion as a team, as an elementary team, on how it will happen.
And I think we can, I'm gonna put you on the spot, but I think we can probably come up with a spot by the May board meeting. It'll also give us better numbers, because numbers are becoming a positive issue for us. They're presenting some other problems because there's just not enough space. We are getting full, which is good news for us. But space is an issue, and that has to be contemplated. So we're not just gonna look at the newcomer program, we're looking at all programs, not just that one program, and where all those programs can be respectively placed to be successful. So hopefully by May board meeting.
So the kids who go through the newcomers program,
Yes.
will they stay within, so let's say it's at Roosevelt, they'll just stay at Roosevelt when they graduate out, or will they
No,
go to their
they will
neighborhood?
transition out to the neighborhood schools once they're ready to exit the newcomers.
They could be pushed into
Yep.
classes at
Yep.
that elementary school.
Yes.
Okay.
Any more questions for Sam?
And Sam, once again, just for the public and whatnot, the newcomer program, those kids are in that program until they test out at a certain grade level? Is that logistically?
We are looking if, just for example, if we're taking the high school programming, at the Newcomer Center, they're working at achieving their kindergarten, first, and second grade standards. And they're looking to work towards a second grade reading level. At the next level there in the high school, they'll be looking towards getting to the sixth grade reading level. And then the next level on top of that, finishing up their middle school standards that year before being ready to be in the high school. So for the Newcomer Center alone, what we're looking at is trying to recuperate 3 years of education in that 1 year, getting them through the kindergarten, first, and second grade standards.
So just help me out, if a newcomer comes over, they're trying to get my ages right, I don't know, 10, 11 type of thing?
Yes.
Fifth grade?
Yes.
Don't speak a lick of English.
Yes.
They're in the newcomer program
Yes.
for that K through 2 level.
Yes.
They then test out
Yes.
and they're in fifth grade, but then they would, in normal circumstances, go on to the middle school sixth grade.
Yes.
Is that right? So then they go to sixth grade at the middle school, and then,
Yep.
but then they have a second grade
It's
level in sixth grade, or?
Yes, and that is currently happening now, where they're at no level in ninth grade too.
Yep.
It's easy. The transitions are different at the levels there, because the programming will be a little bit different at the elementary, at the middle school, and at the high school, because of other factors that are involved in it. But if we're looking at a student that is, let's say, going from third grade to fourth grade, so they come in at the third grade level, no English at all there, no reading, no writing, not even recognition of the alphabet. We're working with them in the Newcomer Center, trying to get them up to meet their second grade standards, and that's driven by our K2 checklist that's already aligned to the Common Core standards. We've already had that made up. So by the time they get to that, it may take them a year. On average, it takes a student about a year in the Newcomer Center to progress that far. They may stay longer, and they may need 18 months to do that. Once they get out of the Newcomer Center and they transition into fourth grade, they will have, they'll be in the regular classes, already have their social language pretty well. They have the recognition of sight words, can read, will still struggle with comprehension, but that will allow the EL teachers to provide that support and transition them to grade level. Right now, without the Newcomer Center, when a new student comes in, the EL teacher has to step back and focus on the basics and not have enough time to transition to students towards that grade level. And that's why we see in our test scores, our Access test scores, Faribault is actually unique compared to other districts because our students are leveling off at a level 3, meaning they have an okay understanding, maybe a pretty solid understanding of their social language, but very beginner level of their academic language. Where other districts, students are leveling off at a level 4. They got their social language, they got their academic language, but they're not yet proficient. So they're at a level above our students here. With the Newcomer Center, it'll allow our students to reach that level and even reach proficiency. Now, in terms of transitioning from elementary to middle school, in the middle school, the program is laid out, whereas a level 1 student, they'll have regular English class with 2 hours. Oh, I'm sorry, a level 1 student is the newcomer, so they'll be in the newcomer all day. A level 2 student, they have their regular English class with 2 hours of EL support there. And then they're going into their related arts and other things there that are not so language heavy that they can succeed in. A level 3 student will have their English 9 support, they're getting into the science and social studies, grade level math, and 1 hour of ESL support on top of that. For our advanced kids then, we're no longer pulling out, because if our kids are advanced in language already, pulling them out will actually hurt them because they're missing things inside the classroom. So we're actually putting the EL teachers in there to support their success at grade level.
So Sam, I think it's a fabulous program, but let's say a family comes over with 3 kids, obviously they're all
Yes.
newcomers. And I understand it all costs money, but is it realistic to see a huge improvement with those kids without the parents at home also being, taking English, you know what I mean? So that, and I understand nobody wants to give up their culture, their native language and things like that, but the kids that are first learning and whatnot, to me, it's so beneficial. I guess I'm just assuming this, and that's not a good thing, but if maybe the parents were somehow learning that with them, you know what I mean?
You're absolutely correct. You know, we, along with helping the kids grow, we have to be able to help the families grow too. A lot of times what we see, and even the districts with the greatest resources still struggle with this, where the kids have that opportunity to grow and come to this country and their world just expands. Because they have the opportunity to go to school, they have the opportunity to participate in other things here in the city. However, with our parents, actually, a lot of times their world starts closing down because they don't have that opportunity. Learning language gets harder for them. And a lot of times what you see, especially for our older generations of refugees and immigrants, our grandparents actually, they get to the point where they're not feeling comfortable to leave the house. So their world gets closed down to the walls of their homes. And then as time goes by and their kids started learning English and their English becomes better than their native language, and this happens to me personally too, they even start feeling uncomfortable to speak to the rest of their family members because they can't communicate with their grandkids or their children anymore. So their world starts closing down to the walls of their own room. And we don't want that to happen. We don't want to create a generational split. So if there ever a way we can help the parents along with the kids, that's what we want to do. And there are programs out there in our school district already, like the FAST program. The FDC also is doing a lot of heritage language classes and English classes to the parents as well. We have the ABE program that helps them improve their English too. So we're going to start working more and more, when we already are, but we're going to start working more and more as a team to address the needs of the whole family.
I think too, I don't want to take away Anne Marie's thunder, but there is a nice grant that Anne Marie, hope you'll talk about during your presentation, Anne Marie, that is another really unique combination of adults with kids and learning. So we're trying to work that way, but you're exactly right, Chad.
And I know there's some community groups, and I think they'd like to participate with the school district more if possible. So, anyways, thank you.
Any other questions for Sam? Okay, we have in front of us the S-Life program proposal for fiscal year, I'm just changing the name, for fiscal year 15-16. I don't think we have a motion or a second, if I'm correct, so I'll entertain a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve. Is there any further discussion on this item?
One thing is newcomers program. I don't want to get away from that name, but whatever.
Well, I think it's important because this has been talked about, well, since I got here, we started this FAIR group, this FAIRE group that met with a bunch of nonprofits around, and one of the things that we talked about excessively was the Newcomer Center. And that transitioned into kind of a goal for us to try to resolve this issue of getting the newcomers back into an education mode. It doesn't completely answer all the questions, but I think for our school, this is really exciting.
In fact, I brought this up back in my first term, 2007 and 8, and never got off the ground.
Yep. So this has some good meaning.
You must be surrounded by great people.
Yes, now. Yes, exactly.
That's right.
Exactly.
With the right crowd.
Well, I would like to make sure that we give credit where I think the most credit is due, and that is Sam Oak, who
Yes.
has, I think, come in this year and raising the profile of that program tremendously, not just in our district, but throughout the community. And I think the newcomer program would not be happening without the addition of Sam Oak to our district. So I appreciate that tremendously, Sam, and I want to recognize him by name for those efforts.
Jason, I also think it's important to thank the community, because I don't know that this would be possible without a levy passing.
Absolutely.
I don't know where the funds would come from, so
That's
I
exactly
think
right.
that's
Yeah.
important.
that the line goes from the levy to being able to offer Sam's position, the hiring of Sam to a newcomers program, so I think it's appropriate to recognize her there. Any further discussion on this item? All right, hearing none, we have a motion and a second to approve the newcomers program for fiscal year 15-16. Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Thank you all. And I think a big deal for a large portion of our community. I would like to apologize at this moment, but my daughter's only choir concert this year started 10 minutes ago. And so I'm going to excuse myself at this time and turn the meeting over to the capable hands of Tom Casper. If you want, that's where we are, Tom, if you want the paper version. I'll excuse myself, and I thank you all for efforts tonight. All right. I promise not to speak.
Do I move myself or just
Don't
hammer Thor?
The gavel will be fine.
All right, thank you, Chairman Embrek. We are
Enrollment.
in 8C and an enrollment report.
Well, as you can see, the enrollment has dropped a few students. We've dropped 8 students this month, and that's pretty typical for this time of year. You start seeing the seniors, if they're not gonna make it, maybe they're dropping out. But otherwise, we're really holding steady and still ahead of where we were projecting, so. Any questions?
All right. That being a report, I think we move on financial report, and there is no financial report today.
Correct.
All right. That would bring us to, get my electronic and paper things in line here, where we're gonna approve, approve resolution 15-01, gifts and donations, and this requires an action. I'd like to acknowledge the following gifts from Sam Shell, 2 metal basketball nets with a value of about $40 for outside recess. Keep those kids moving. The State Bank of Faribault, a $500 contribution for our robotics program. Godfather's Pizza of Faribault, $122.69, also for the keeping those robotics people fed, I believe. Cable Connections and Supply Company, Inc., $300 for the robotics program. Mr. Chad and Courtney Wolf, $100 contribution for the robotics program. Sue and David DeMars, $100 for the robotics program. And Matthew Drenth, and please forgive me if I've mispronounced that one, $500 for the robotics program. So I'd like to thank all those folks and everyone who has made contributions to the success of our students, but in particular, these 7 individuals, families, and/or businesses. I believe we need a motion for acceptance of these gifts.
So moved.
We have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a second. And I believe this is just all those in favor say?
No, that's a roll call.
Oh, thank you, thank you. All right, Mr. Clerk, would you please read the roll?
Yes, sir. Tom.
Aye.
Yvette.
Aye.
Myself, aye. Jerry.
Aye.
Andrea.
Aye.
Chad.
Aye.
Passes a 6-0.
All right. That brings us to item 9, and we have, I believe, Anne Marie and a wellness committee report. And then perhaps another.
Yes. Thank you and good evening. We are wrapping up the 55021 Wellness Plan. We sent out information in April to notify everyone about screen time awareness. So all of that time we spend on computers and in front of televisions, we're just reminding people to perhaps do other activities instead. Additionally, per discussion at this month's Wellness Committee meeting, we sent out information regarding community-supported agriculture information. So local CSAs that are a great way to get fresh and local produce and other products right to your door, delivered right to your door. So take advantage of it. The other piece around employee wellness is that we're offering an A to Z salad bar to all of the district employees through Sodexo. And I think we'll be all looking forward to the fresh veggies to gain that extra energy to get us through a successful day. Okay, so that wraps up wellness.
All right. Any questions regarding the wellness report? All right, then, if not, Ms. Anne Marie, would you report on community ed?
Sure. And Mr. Sesker said this earlier, but there is good news regarding securing a Southern Minnesota Initiative Foundation grant of $20,000 to support a family learning program that will be located at the Growing Up Healthy trailer at the Cannon River Mobile Home Park. And this program is a partnership, it's really exciting, partnership between existing community education programs, 3 of them. So we're combining ECFE, which is our early childhood family ed, our school readiness, which is our preschool, and our adult education as well. So also along with Growing Up Healthy as a core partner in delivering that program. Growing Up Healthy ended up doing a survey. They've designated neighborhoods that they work with, and they cultivate leaders in those neighborhoods. Cannon River is one of them. They did a survey through their leaders to the entire community and overwhelmingly came back with information around wanting preschool or sort of readiness programs for their kids, adult education in terms of EL or GED, and parent education. So we responded to this survey and developed a proposal to SMIF, and they responded back very nicely in that we were only proposing to do a semester-long program. And SMIF came back to us and said, please apply for the maximum amount, $20,000, and run this all year. So that's what we are doing, and we were awarded that. Just in terms of giving you an idea of what will happen at the trailer, we will have preschool activities happening, some learning. Simultaneously, in another room, we will have adult education happening, so either parent education or GED, EL services, what have you. Then we will combine those two, the 4-year-olds and the caregivers, around a common book or common vocabulary. So just a really in-depth kind of way to serve families. So that's it for my report.
I think Jessica has been involved in this by quite a bit.
Yes, and Christine.
And Christine
Yes.
had played really
Yeah.
integral roles in getting this grant moving ahead. So
Yep.
it's pretty exciting to be able to go out and do this.
It is, and just in my years of well over a decade of experience in terms of adult literacy programming, I was able to look and review many family literacy programs throughout the state, and those have dwindled over time because of reduction in federal funding. But the ones that have survived, the Rochester, the East St. Paul, those neighborhoods have really thrived and continue without federal funding to deliver these programs because it is such a unique outcome for that family and that learning opportunity to learn together. And just as a follow-up from the earlier discussion around the newcomer program and Mr. Wolf's question around adult ESL, our program in terms of adult education that Jessica runs serves over 450 students a year. That's about half or a little bit more in terms of our EL-specific programming. And many of our students, 450, are EL learners, but we've gotten them to the point where they become adult basic education students onto getting their GED or diploma. So the college also serves EL students as well. So there's lots of programming available, and I just really, really want to make sure that Mr. Wolf's point gets across that we need that adult piece as well. So that's it.
Thank you and congratulations. on that.
Thank you
Yes,
very much.
congratulations.
Thanks. It's one of the top 3 things I wanted to do when I got this job, so thanks.
All right, Anne Marie, thank you for your reports and thank you for all you do for our community.
Thank you.
All right, next is a facility report. Mr. Setsker, or
I don't think we have
Kevin
one. Do we
is-
have, do we have a facility committee meeting this month? I didn't think so. That was the month before, so I think we've already caught up on that.
Okay. Then, that brings us to item 10, other matters. Considering the approval of emergency shelter contracts and requiring board action.
Good evening.
Mr. Hilger.
You had me scared for a minute there on the facility committee. It's like, I didn't have any notes. Every year for, Dave Corbel, once he started on the board, 20-some years ago at least. Longstanding board member. 30 years ago. Since he was manager at one of our manufactured housing / trailer parks in town, he brought this forward before the board. Every 2 years, I bring this back to you to approve. It is an agreement. The shelters or the communities, the 4 communities in our town, that being Cannon River Mobile Park, Sunrise Trailer Park, Knollwood Court, and Evergreen Estates, they must have an emergency or a shelter area to go to in case of inclement weather. Since they do not have their own, they have come to the school for many years, and with an agreement we've had with them, through a whole list of protocols and issues they need to cover with me beforehand, background checks and key holders, and we have an annual meeting with them. They come and ask for permission, or I come to you and ask to renew this contract with them every 2 years. So with that, I ask you to renew the contract with the 4 shelters, or 4 communities, to use our schools. They use the high school, 2 of them use the high school, 1 uses the middle school, and 1 uses Lincoln, for the next coming 2 years. Any questions?
Chair, what do you
Yes.
do with Sundance and Capaco up there? Are they part of this?
They're not part of this, no.
Any particular reason why?
Apparently the city does not require them to have separate shelter, or they might have their own, I'm not sure. This came through the city also, that they require them to have it and they do not. One actually I know right now, I was talking to them the other day at a meeting. They are in the process of building their own, so they might not be on the list after a little bit.
So Kevin, one or a couple people have keys to whatever school and?
2 individuals at each park have keys.
And then they would go to a designated area within the school?
Yes, yep. We cover that every year with them, the key holders. And they also carry liability insurance. And before they leave, if they do enter the building, a lot of times they'll come to the building, the site. They will not go in until absolutely necessary. Once they go in, they have to call us. Then we have to go in, check to make sure everything's okay, that no damages were done. They pay for that, they pay all expenses. We just verify that everything's okay.
Any further questions for Mr. Hildebrand?
I'll move approval of the contracts.
I'll
All right.
second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the emergency shelter contracts. Any further questions, comments? All right, is this
No, just.
all right, then all those in favor of the approving the emergency shelter contract, please say aye.
Aye.
Same sign if you're opposed. Thank you, Mr. Hildebrand.
Thank you.
Brings us to item 10B, considering the approval of a 2015 through 17 employment agreement for Robert Dennert. And Mr. Sesker, could you enlighten us?
You bet. This is our, as you recall, our special education director, Cheryl Hall, current special education director. We had split with Northfield and Faribault, and Cheryl is now moving to Northfield, which opened up a special education director position here in Faribault. And through the interview process and through a lot of good recommendations, Mr. Dennert was selected through our committee, and he is here now to introduce himself. And so if you guys want to put him on the spot and fire questions, feel free.
Welcome, Mr. Dennert.
Thank you. Good evening. I want to thank the school board for considering me for the position of Director for Special Services. For the past 19 years, I've worked in that area of special education for the West St. Paul School District. 12 years as a middle school special education teacher and 7 years as their Assistant Director of Special Education. In that time, I've overseen about 850 special education students, 150 teachers and paraprofessionals, and various other duties as assigned. I'm married, I have 4 wonderful children. Through my research, I found that Faribault has a long tradition of educational excellence, and I'm honored to be a part of their continued success. I'm willing to take questions, although we'll see.
You know, I think, that I can't ask if you're gonna move here, but I will just tell you, your 4 wonderful kids would love our school.
That's a nice way around that question you can't ask.
I made a generous comment.
They let me know there would be a mutiny if I asked them to move, so.
Your call, I'm just stating a phrase.
All right,
Well, I just, you know, you're not even under contract, and you sat here for 2 hours. So, that speaks well of your diligence, so.
well, on behalf of the board, we're glad that you are here, and I believe we are taking an action on hiring this young man. I'm old enough I can say that. So-
Vice Chair, you know, Faribault does have a long, long history of highly competent special ed.
So
Just
I-
for your information, if you want to do the history books. I thought I'd throw that in.
There are several in the room at the moment.
One sitting on the board, speaking.
All right, I believe I need a motion to approve the employment agreement for Mr. Robert Denner.
So moved.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed, same sign. I believe we have a decision.
Welcome.
Welcome.
Congratulations.
Welcome. All right, next, item 10C, considering the approval of the 2015 Trek Falk field trip to Cuyuna State Park. And
Our local expert.
we have a experienced trekker in front of us.
Yes, this will be the 3rd year that we've had a trek, end of year accumulating, anyway, field trip. And we're going to Cuyuna this year, which Cuyuna State Recreation Park and State Park is, we're gonna do some mountain biking, kayaking, and other activities. And this is a combined program with our physical education and science class. And so we try to work on getting hands-on activities for our students. And this is one of the things we do to culminate their year. And students have to earn their way on it. And we have 10 students and 4 staff going this year. And if you have any questions, I'd be happy to tell you what I know.
You go irregardless of the weather, right? Last year
Yes,
was a little chilly.
we've gone to the Boundary Waters and got one of the top 3 of rainstorms that I've been up there. And we survived that in tents. And last year we went to the Black Hills and camped all the time. This year, actually, we're going to stay in a couple of the yurts that they have on site there at the state park in Cuyuna. And it's be interesting, the Cuyuna used to be an iron mine. And so we can look at the iron mine lakes and compare them to regular lakes and see what happens when nature and then humans work together to kind of create a recreation area. So it'll be an interesting trip. Not quite as far as we've gone in the past, which is kind of nice. We don't have to spend as much time on the bus.
It's always good.
Well, if I just might add, my wish that your kayaks stay upright.
Well, we have to plan just in case they don't.
I know. All right, we need a board action to approve this trip. So I'll entertain a motion to approve the 2015 Trek Falk trip to Cuyuna State Park.
So moved.
We have a motion, is there a second?
Second?
We have several seconds.
What's that?
All right, all those in favor of the field trip to Cuyuna State Park by the Trek Falk group, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Same sign.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, that brings us to item 11 on our agenda, other items of information, and we have a very active and talented and well-informed student representative who is coming close to the end of her service, I believe, but
27 days till graduation. So we'll see. Well, I think that maybe that's school days. I'm not sure. It's a month. It's a month from Sunday. So that is robotics team got like $1,600 tonight. That's awesome. I think that's really great for like their first year. They have some money now, and that'll help them. I'm very excited for them. That's been something I think I've been interested in. The musical just happened last weekend. That was awesome. We got a lot of good turnout. I think I would survive better in the 50s. My hair, I love my hair. Oh my gosh. There's so much than this. It was so much fun. Prom happened 2 days ago. I've never been more tired. I'm so tired. It was so much fun. It was beautiful at the Muse. Everybody was a bit well behaved. I don't know. It was really fun. It was really, really fun. Megan did an awesome job. So we have a month left. Elections are starting to go on for next year's like student council, senior class president. All of them are running unopposed, so that's really cool. They're all awesome people. They served on student council before. A lot of them were on the cabinet last year, so that'll be really fun. And then the juniors are taking their AP tests, or not AP, what am I saying? ACT, close. Test tomorrow. They're kind of freaking out about it, but I think they're gonna do just fine. The teachers have spent a lot of time with them, I think more than past years, because they're having like at our high school, rather than just like a, when are you taking the ACT, you know what I mean? I don't know, that kind of a thing. So I think they're really, really gonna be prepared for it. I'm trying to think of things that are going on, but not really. Do you guys have any questions for me?
Recouping from prom, it's
I'm so tired. I'm so tired. I'm really excited tonight. I had a paper due for one of my college classes yesterday. It was 8 pages, final. It was due at midnight. So guess what I was doing until 11:59. Right? But
well, thank you very much.
yeah.
Thank you.
School board members, is there anyone wish to share some information with us and the community?
It's been a great month. The musical was amazing. There were a lot of students in it, and you're quite the dancer. You did a great job. Thank you. The color dash, how many did that raise at the middle school? That was 5,000. The middle school staff and the middle school students deserve a lot of credit for that. And then speaking of Sam, he had a Cambodian New Year celebration last Saturday to begin the tradition of having heritage schools, I believe, or heritage groups in our schools. So it's pretty exciting. And that's not even the academic stuff. That's just the fun stuff. Yeah.
I'd like to just say, I'd get on Facebook particularly for pictures of my grandchildren, but I have been noticing quite a number of pictures over the last couple of weeks from our middle school. A lot of student things going on, including the color run and other things, so I'd like to compliment the middle school people, particularly middle school administration, that I believe is responsible for getting that out there, and encourage any of you to check it out. A lot going on.
Oh, we have a group coming in tomorrow to talk to seniors about hazing for next year. That's happening.
Is it a Lyceum tomorrow?
What was that?
Is it a Lyceum?
I'm not sure. I think they were supposed to come in before, like earlier this year, but they weren't able to make it, so they're coming in tomorrow morning during first hour.
All right, other board members, anything wish to share at this time? If not, we'll move on to item C, Superintendent Sesker.
Thank you. I agree with all of you. It's been very busy with a lot of very positive things going on. Prom is always nerve-wracking, so I'm happy everybody's safe and sound after this weekend, and everybody had a great time. So thanks to those. Megan Molnex, I think, was another person that helped. You said Megan, I guess. And,
yeah.
Emily and others.
Also, huge thank you to teachers, administration, and post-prom committee members.
Yeah, I think Deb Caspers runs that, and of course, Jamie Benty and a bunch of others, so.
I think Rosie Ventomi
Yeah.
is the head of post-pro.
Yeah, terrific. A group of parents too that help volunteer afterwards, so thank you very, very much. I was at Roosevelt a week ago to visit the Wax Museum. I don't know if you've had a chance to visit the Wax Museum before, but it was very cool. The students dress up as either celebrities or famous people from the past, and then you push a button and then they talk about the famous people in the past. My one young man that I pushed the button to started rattling off quantum physics and how Albert Einstein invented the E=mc² formula. It was pretty good. So they did a great job up there, and that was fun. Met with the Lincoln teaching staff. We talked a little bit about budget and the process, and I'm going to meet with all the other staff now. I try to meet with them, the entire staff, at least twice a year to make sure that they can ask questions about what the district's doing. So I'll get the other ones on my agenda as well. We took a tour of Shattuck St. Mary's to do one last review of what the classrooms look like. They have a lot of great innovative pieces going on in their classrooms, and Nicole Yoakum and I and Kevin went up to Shattuck and we visited those classes and the classrooms that we're putting in at the adult basic ed, and then also the resource room that we're putting in at the middle school with that district office piece. We're hoping we'll be able to utilize as a classroom, and we want to make sure that we have all the tools that we need to be successful in those pieces. So that was valuable. Most of the stuff that we had on there, I think we've already considered. There were a couple ideas that we picked up. I also participated in the Color Dash. I ran more than 5K. I was misdirected and I ran another 3/4 mile. Of course, that's because I went on the wrong route, but I eventually got it.
You didn't
No, it
follow
was
the
great.
signs?
I didn't follow the signs. Yeah, I was too tired. I did that on Saturday, and then on Sunday I came and watched the musical and saw Emily, and great production of the Happy Days. Brought back a lot of memories of Happy Days. And our PDS council continues to meet at Mankato. It's a great group. It's part of our fellow program. We'll have to maybe present on that one of these days too, where we hire a couple of teachers that are certified from Mankato that are just starting, and they get a good start on their master's program. And at the same time, it frees a couple of our teachers to help out. In this case, it's two interventionists, and Leanne Lichtenberg and Vanna Dents are doing those two pieces, and they're doing a great job. So that's one of the many things that we get out of that PDS relationship with Mankato and those other 7 or 8 schools. And also the expo had a lot of great work. Thank you guys for help supporting that. There's a lot of staff that went out there and helped man or take care of the display. If you had a chance to go to the expo, it was a great experience for the chamber and for our school, and to see all the great businesses. And actually, the Diversity Council had a booth as well that Sam was. Did you stay the whole night, or were you did? So you're the whole time, so thanks for that. And then, of course, as Emily said, we have the ACT test coming up, and that is tomorrow, and that will be another day of testing. So, and that's all I have.
Thank you, Superintendent.
You bet.
All right, I'd like to review some dates to remember. Monday, May 4th, 5:30 p.m., a board work session at the district office. May 6th at 3:30, a wellness meeting at the district office. I believe it's, I'm sorry, Monday that would be a Wednesday?
Yeah, and it's changed to the 13th.
All
So May
right.
13th?
Are you sure?
I take that back. All right. Monday, May 11th, 7:30 a.m., a finance committee meeting at the district office. Then, May 13th, the wellness committee at 3:30 at the district office. May 18th will be the regular board meeting. And according to my list here, we're going to be meeting at the Faribault High School auditorium. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right. Monday, May 18th. May 25th is Memorial Day with no school, and May 26th at 4 p.m., the Community Education Advisory Council at the district office. All right, so those are the dates to remember, and you can check the
Mr. Vice Chair,
district website for.
were we gonna have 2 work sessions in May? Am I misunderstood
Nope, we
You're
haven't
gonna
scheduled, we're gonna schedule the 4th and the 11th. We were gonna schedule, we put the 11th as kind of an alternate date right now. If the board wants us to put that in writing, we can go ahead and do that. If not, but we do have that tentatively scheduled, but we can do it either way.
How much time do we need to give the public, should we wanna add that? I think it was based off of if we get everything done on the 4th or if we don't. Is that?
We talked about keep your calendars open on the 11th. I am pretty sure we'll probably go into the 11th.
Then you have to vote on that.
Yeah, you can vote on the 4th.
No,
You can't vote on the work session.
you can't vote on a work session. We have to vote,
You can have an emergency meeting if you'd like on the 4th, and then have that as your,
emergency, that's not a definition.
let's do it this way. If you'd like to have the work session on the 4th and the 11th, we can go ahead and do that
Yes.
right now and just put it on there.
Yeah, I think it'd be best to schedule it, and if we don't need it, then we
Then you
can
cancel.
Right.
Yep, so then we could use a motion right now to have a work session on the 11th. That'd be the best.
Okay.
All right, I'll entertain a motion to have May work sessions on May 4th and May 11th, both at 5:30 at the district office. Entertain a motion to that regard.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any comments, questions? All right. All those in favor of the motion, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed to the motion, please say aye. I believe we have a unanimous. All right. Well then, if I'm reading things correctly, we are going to adjourn from this open session and then reconvene in a closed session in a few minutes.
Yeah, we need a motion to go into closed session. Yep.
All right, I'll need a motion to go into the closed session.
So moved.
I need a second. We have a motion and a second to go into closed session following this meeting. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say aye.
So, okay, we'll get a break before we.
All right. I hereby adjourn the regular session.
No!
Nope, we're just going to close session.
I hereby close the